Let's look at Unilever's company background. In 1929, soap manufacturers Lever Brothers and margarine producers Unite signed an agreement to create Unilever. Since then, the organization has grown into the fourth largest consumer goods company in the world, with net sales of roughly 58 billion. It has over 400 brands spanning food, beverages, cleaning agents, beauty products, and personal care products. And its products can be found in over 190 countries. Some of its most famous brands are Lipton, Knorr, Sunsilk, Lux, and Surf Excel. Unilever sources raw materials from more than 10,000 suppliers worldwide and up to 100,000 non-production suppliers. This is a huge undertaking, and it is necessary that its supply chain be among the best in the world to function successfully.
Moving on, we will be talking about the SWOT analysis of Unilever. So as you can see, we'll be talking about the strength, weaknesses, the opportunities and threat. So what is strength? Strength is what does your organization do better than your competitor? Whereas weaknesses, what does your organization needs to improve upon? Thirdly, opportunity, what market trends could lead to market sales? And lastly, threat, what are the advantages competitors have over your organization? So the first thing we are going to talk about will be the strengths of Unilever. One of them will be the global footprint with operations in over 190 countries. Okay, this benefits Unilever as it actually has a good brand imaging of being truly international, when Unilever has over a global presence in more than 190 countries. Secondly, would be the top of the mind brand recall among customers. So when a customer actually goes into a retail shop, the first thing that they think about would be Unilever, because it's actually one of the brand as one of the tops in customers' minds, which is a great strength for them, as Unilever products become the first preference for customer when they actually enter and think of a product to buy. Thirdly would be a heavily funded research and development initiative. So Unilever is always on its toes to research and come up with new innovative products as per changing requirements of the customers. This shows that Unilever actually focuses on the customers' wants and needs, and they're actually flexible to accommodate to the market. And this actually makes it one of the most loved consumer companies all over, as they are always flexible and always coming up with new products for customers to enjoy. And lastly would be the excellent CSR activities. So a timely CSR initiatives will always strengthen Unilever and its position all over the world, because it actually shows that Unilever is an organization that actually cares for the brand imaging and CSR initiatives. Moving on to the weaknesses of Unilever's. Okay, so the first thing would be imitable products. Okay, consumer products are actually one of the industry or products that are very prone to imitation. So all the consumer products will be easily imitable, and like other big company, Unilever has a similar problem in dealing with these issues. Secondly would be the limited business diversification. As we all know, Unilever actually has a broad product mix. However, it is weak because of its limited diversification in business outside the consumer goods industries. They have Planta, they have Lux, they have all those things, but it's always to consumer goods only, and that is one of their weaknesses. Thirdly would be the huge dependence on retailers. There is a shortcoming of having a direct influence on consumers, as buyers are directly affected by the behaviors of retailers. For example, if I am going to walk into Tesco today and then I see that there is actually a sale on a non-Unilever product, so that is a weakness for Unilever, as the retailer will actually decide which product to actually have a discount. So if my competitor is having a discount, of course the consumer will actually go and purchase the cheaper ones, and therefore that is a weakness for Unilever. And lastly would be the availability of substitutes and low switching costs. Consumers have zero switching costs if they want to switch products, and buyers have other available substitute products at hand due to it being consumer goods. For example, if today I'm going to buy a soap from Unilever and the next day I decided to buy the soap from a competitor of Unilever, I will have zero switching costs because I'm not going to pay extra just for that. So therefore, it is a weakness, availability of substitutes and zero switching costs. Alright, so now moving on to the external factors, opportunities. Alright, the first opportunities that Unilever can actually look forward to will be the growing economies demands more. So the emergence of developing economies is a great opportunity for Unilever, as the living standards of individuals has risen and people all over the world would have or want a better environment. And this will be a great opportunity for Unilever to place the right products in the right places. The second one would be the growing demands for health-conscious products. More people are moving towards the healthy products or healthy lifestyle these days, and this is an area for Unilever to tap. For example, the halal market was once a very tapped-in area when it was less well-known. And see, the amount of money that the organizations are actually making, those that are actually tapping on the halal market. So likewise with the health-conscious products, the more Unilever focuses on a health-conscious product, the bigger and wider the market they will have. Thirdly, will be the lifestyle needs of millennial generation. As we all know, the millennial generation is an increasingly big part of market of the Unilever growth. And by focusing on their needs and catering to them, Unilever can actually find a faster growth and a higher profit. And the lastly one will be the social media for advertising. By using a social media to advertise their products, Unilever would actually find it more effective for product placement, and it actually has a lower cost because they do not have to go to a vendor or advertising company to actually advertise their products. All they have to do is make sure that they send the soft copy or video to the TV ads, and it can be shown to every individuals in the country or the whole world. Okay, lastly we will be talking about the threats of Unilever. So the threats Unilever are facing, first one would be the increasing popularity of private label brands. So big retail shops are actually coming up with their own private label brands. And since Unilever's business is highly dependent on retailers, this is a big threat for them. So for example, just imagine Tesco having their own butter product or margarine product. This would be a direct threat to Unilever, as Unilever is also depending on them to actually sell Unilever's product on their behalf. But right now, since the retail stores are actually having their own private label brand, they will be able to sell at a much cheaper price range, and this will actually encourage consumer to actually purchase the big retail stores brand. Secondly would be competitors are no less. So competitors like Nestle, Procter & Gamble makes it more difficult to sustain in the market. So continuous launch of new products with competitive pricing is what it takes to fight with this threat. So for example, Unilever, even though if they have a new product, they would have to give a very competitive price tag to it, because the competitors would actually compete with the prices, and as we all know, consumers are actually looking to purchase things that are actually lower in cost or good in quality. So if the consumers are actually focusing on a cheaper cost or product, they will definitely go for the cheaper competitor prices. Lastly would be product imitation. So product imitation is always a threat for companies like Unilever, as it takes millions of investments to come up with something new, and it falls in the dangers as soon as someone decides to imitate it. A good example would be Apple. Prior to the launch of iPhone X or iPhone X, a few months later, competitors or actually some China companies actually imitate the design, and we can see less than half a year, new products from China are actually having the same design as the iPhone. Yeah.
Unilever, through its global collaborative innovation platform, Unilever Foundry, has been working with pioneering startups globally to identify and accelerate partnership opportunities. With over 200 plus pilots amounting to 20 million pilot investments, they have been successful in partnering with startups to solve problems ranging from supply chain to clean water. TheLorry.com is a logistics startup founded in 2014 by two local entrepreneurs, Nadir Ashafiq and Goh Chi Hao. The partnership between Unilever and The Lorry began in 2017, where The Lorry helped Unilever to complete 620 deliveries across a 2-month period. This was translated to a 99.2% success rate of delivery thanks to an improved route planning and a 6.2% secondary transport savings. Early this year, the Lorry.com managed to raise a total of $5.85 million in a Series B round, giving them sufficient financial muscle to expand their operations across the region. A few weeks later, the Lorry and Unilever signed an agreement that sees Unilever investing an undisclosed amount to acquire equity in the form of convertible preference shares. Through this closer partnership, Unilever hopes to achieve a delivery success rate of 99.5% and a secondary transport cost savings of 12%. The Lorry.com, meanwhile, gets to scale their operations across Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, Philippines, and potentially beyond across Unilever's substantial supply chain network.
To sum it all up, from our analysis of Unilever, we have been seeing that its supply chain is a source of competitive advantage over its competitors. Unilever encourages collaboration with its supply chain partners and is always ready to adopt the latest technology to improve its operation. Their sustainable policies to put Earth ahead of profit has enhanced the company's image in the mind of the consumer. Unilever's supply chain was declared the best supply chain for the past 2 consecutive years and is certainly something other companies can look to emulate. This success has been possible because of clearly defined global strategy aided by right processes and competent management that ensure the strategy is executed seamlessly. Thank you for being with us.